On Saturday mornings when I was a kid, my dad would say, "All right, you guys, we got to do yard work today," and we would all cheer. Now, most kids are not going to cheer when you say yard work, but we knew that it meant we were going to be laughing and having fun, and when we were done, we got to go to Foster Freeze and get an ice cream cone that was chocolate dipped. To this day, I still think of yard work as a kid, and when we have to do yard work as adults, I think about when we were a kid and how much we enjoyed yard work. The love of camping that I have to this day grew out of the family camping trips we went on each summer. I think that as kids we had been to every national park in the western United States. When I was a kid, my dad would put us in bed at night, and I loved it. A lot of times you're going to say, "Oh, kids don't want to go to bed," but my dad would carry us to bed, and he would bump our heads on the doorways and the hallway walls. He would bump our heads, he would bump our feet, and we would laugh all the way to bed. Another thing I remember is playing baseball in the backyard with my dad on the weekends. We had a wiffle ball and a wiffle bat, and we had so much fun. My dad would coach us, we'd laugh, would hit that ball all over the place, and just have a good old time together on the weekends. My dad also loved Halloween. He would always come home early from work on Halloween. He would make sure that our costumes were just right, and he would walk us for hours all over the city to gather as much candy as we could. Halloween was a fun time. One of the funniest things my dad used to say when I was a kid was making fun of our ears, and he used to call us taxi cabs going down the street with our doors open. To this day, when I look in the mirror after getting a haircut, I think of a taxi cab.
With the poppers this year.
Yeah, start popping them and see.
I have to bug you guys. Is that the peacocks?
Sure
Is the peacock screaming?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Damn, look. Oh, you missed it. It was huge.
Isn't that nice? Just hold them up.
Oh, man. You gotta get it when that breeze blows through.
Yeah, you get it just right, bud.
Oh, look at the big one. Man, that was really cool. Woo, Mommy made it.
My dad used to bring home the store displays. We had the most fun with these things. He brought home a giant kite that had the Jolly Green Giant on it that was so big that when the string broke, it landed on a house 2 blocks away. He brought home a wagon for us before. That was so much fun, but my favorite was the posters that he brought home. They were Snoopy and Charlie Brown, and he put numbers on the back of them. Then we drew a number out of a hat to match what poster we would get. And I remember thinking how smart my dad was, because then it was nobody's fault what poster you got. Watching Wide World of Sports together on Saturday afternoons is another treasured memory, as making fun of Howard Cosell,
In case you need to buy anything.
as well as the time that we all went to Catalina together on a ferry boat. And I remember that my dad bought us a candy bar and then asked me if he could have a bite of my candy bar, and I didn't share it. I said no, I wanted it all to myself. And then later on got a stomach ache and thought, oh, it was because I didn't share my candy bar with my dad. Just like the ferry boat ride, my memories of visits to Disneyland each summer are definitely to be treasured. We always had so much fun together. My dad laughing on all those rides just like he was a kid. The parking lot at San Diego Stadium was where my dad taught me to drive. He was so patient and kind as I made one mistake after another. Later in my life, my dad, my husband, and my father-in-law attended a football game together at that same stadium. They screamed themselves so hoarse that when they got back to our house, they could barely talk. My dad and my father-in-law also spent time together on a camping trip to Sequoia. They sat around the campfire one night, swapping stories of their kids and all the troubles we would get into.
Funny.
Dude, you really need to put on some weight.
Oh, yeah.
Like Sharon. No,
It's her napkin. She tucked it in case she wants another piece.
why waste it? It's not dirty.
Made it now.
Tucked it into my waist.
There. I use mine.
That's what I'm gonna use.
I will always treasure the fun times I spent with my dad through the years.